Hey everybody. Well, today we're going to take a look at something rather odd. We're going to look at a piece of wood. Yes, you heard right, a piece of wood. So that's it right there. But it's not just an ordinary piece of wood, it's a special piece of wood. It's a piece of wood that's a piece of history, actually, a piece of music history and rock and roll history. So, believe it or not, that is a piece of the Woodstock stage. This is a piece of the Woodstock stage, and it has a very interesting story of how it became a collectible like this. And you can also get one for yourself if you'd like, if you're willing to pay the probably ridiculous price for it. So here we can see it says peace, love, and stage. There's that piece of wood there. So as we can see, it says authentic piece of stage from the Woodstock Festival held at Yasgur's Farm August 15th through the 18th, 1969. And it has that little holographic proof of purchase kind of thing right there. So this is in an acrylic frame, and it's got a magnetic attachment right here, so you can center that cardboard insert if you like, and then the wood is actually just glued to the frame itself. So it has a very interesting history of how this became a collectible, and so I'll put a link in the description down below, or actually I'll put a link in a pinned comment, and it's for an interview that talks to the gentleman who acquired these pieces of the stage. So what happened is, back in 1969, after the concert, they took a huge loss, money-wise, for the concert. So they decided to sell off all the lumber for the stage and the rigging for the lights and I guess everything pretty much. And so this gentleman was dating this girl back then, and her father happened to buy a whole bunch of lumber from the stage, and he brought it back home, and he was going to use it for some kind of a racquetball court or a paddleball court, I think is what it was. It's some kind of a little lodging area, I guess, that he was going to make. And so he was going to use the wood for the stage to make this this paddleball court. Well, turns out that the relationship between the guy and the girl didn't last, but 45 years later, cut to 45 years later, he's thinking about this wood, and he's like, I wonder if that wood is still out there, because I guess he saw the paddleball court being built. So he went back out there 45 years later to see if it was still there, and he said, of course, his memory has changed over 45 years, and the place that he thought it wasn't there. And then just as about the time they were going to leave, somebody that he was with happened to see the wall for the paddleball court out there. So they went over there, and sure enough, it was the paddleball court. It had, so the gentleman who was making that court, he actually took the stage pieces of wood to make the main frame of the walls, and then he put, I guess, other paneling on the outside of that wood and painted it white, and there was a name on it. Well, lo and behold, they find that actual wall with the paneled wood. It was still white, and the name was still on it, and they got permission, well, I guess for whoever owns that land now, to pop those panels off, and sure enough, there was the original wood pieces, the panels, for the stage, and they knew it was the original because it had a distinctive corporation mark on it. The company that supplied the lumber, it was still on there. Those labels were still on there. They were like the stamps or the printed stamps. And also, what was interesting is they found some panels that had the paint on it. It's like these pink and green colors, because some of the portions of the stage were actually painted. And I think they had intended to paint the whole stage, but they just ran out of time or didn't have the budget or something. So only certain parts of it were painted. And there was panels in there that had the original paint. It was pretty crazy. So he took all that wood and brought it home. He got the permission to take it or buy it or whatever. And then since then, he has been cutting little pieces of it like this to sell. Now, I think he donated some big chunks of it to probably I think it was like the Music Hall of Fame or something like that, or some kind of museum. He's probably given away a couple of them. But you can buy a piece of this now, and there's different kinds that you can buy. This is the smaller one. And then he even has shavings of when they were cutting these pieces in vials. I think those are cheaper. And then there's even bigger chunks that are probably about, this big compared to this one. And it's in a really nice frame, and it has pictures from the concert of Jimi Hendrix and well, I can't remember who else, but it was only a couple different ones. Those were kind of expensive. They were about $270 for those, but you do get a bigger piece of the stage. This one here was $100. $100 for a piece of wood. I know, it is ridiculous, but it's such a historical piece. I mean, this is an actual piece of the stage from Woodstock. I mean, that's such a historical event from back then. A huge, I mean, they couldn't even do a concert like that today. not with the environment the way it is. But that truly was a concert that was bringing a lot of people together to just enjoy 3 or 4 days of just enjoying the music and just enjoying each other. And I think if I had been old enough to enjoy something like that, I probably would have gone. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it would have been a fun event to attend, and little did everybody know that it would probably be that historic, or maybe some people did. And there's a whole bunch of documentaries on YouTube and everywhere else that you can watch. It's very interesting. But to own an actual piece like this is really cool. I mean, who knows where this was? It's just a small piece. That stage was huge. This might have been just a piece that was off in the background somewhere, or it could have been right center stage somewhere, and all those famous people that sung that night may have stepped on this. You never know. You never know. But anyway, I know it's silly to spend money on something like this, but I mean, I'm sure that guy's making a ton of money on these things, and he's been selling it for a while. But it's a very niche item, so I don't know if he's ever going to sell all those pieces of wood. But I think it's cool. It's cool to have a piece of history like that. You hear about that concert all the time, and I don't know, I just thought it was really unique, and I wanted a piece of history like that. I thought it was really cool. So if you want one of these, let's see, where do you go? I think you go to pieceofstage.com. I don't think I see there's no information here about the website. I think it's called Piece of Stage. Just look it up. You'll see the website. And then I'll also put the link in a pinned comment down below, and you can watch them talk to the guy who found these pieces, because it was a very interesting find for him. All right, well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate that. And I'll see you on the next video. So have a good one.